Today is the day Copilot pioneers from across Europe and beyond come together for the first international Copilot event. Welcome to CoCoCo, the Copilot Community Conference 2026. Today, you will hear from the brightest minds in the Microsoft Copilot ecosystem across 4 incredible tracks: users, admins, agents, and adoption. Built by the community, for the community. This is not just another online event. This is the moment you've been waiting for. So get focused, get ready, because the Copilot Community Conference 2026 starts right now. And here are your organizers. Welcome Adrian, Daniel, Tanja, and Thorsten.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, and welcome to the Copilot Community Conference Edition 2026. We are incredibly happy and delighted to welcome you here. We still have a lot of folks joining. I hope everything runs smoothly today. So we are currently already 300 people. There will be more, and I'm very happy to kick it off for today. My name is Daniel Rohregger. I have the honor to kick off this event today. And let us know in the chats, guys, where are you joining? We basically saw people all over the world registering for this event. So we are curious, where are you currently joining? Is it like early in the morning? Is it like very late in the afternoon? Let us know what's going on. So let me quickly introduce the team. We have today here Adrian, Ritter. He will run the admin track today. We have Tanja Wiehoff. She's leading the agent track. We have Thorsten is heading for the adoption track, and myself will be responsible for the users track. So that is basically what we will talk about today for the different tracks. Each of us has spent the last months preparing this conference. We've put a lot of time, a lot of effort into this community event today. So feel free to help us spread the word. And the chat is going crazy. It's insane. Wow. And we have a incredible lineup today, to be honest. We have a really, really cool program. We have 4 tracks running in parallel that we are responsible for. We have an incredible opening keynote from the community as well. And we have lightning talks, we have a big closing raffle and more. So make sure to stay on the full day and get all your information here. I hope everything is running smoothly. From a technical perspective, Thorsten will cover a little bit of this in just a minute. Just in case anyone reports that he is having technical issues today, we already had some in the morning. So what always helps is just leave the call and rejoin. I hope you all have the invite. This track will be open the full day. But yeah, you will hear everything that you need to be set up in the next minutes. So I will, in just 30 seconds, hand over to Adrian, who will give us a little bit introduction for the code of conduct. But since there will be many, many people joining today, keep in mind it's a community conference. So if there is anyone with technical difficulties, let's help together to get this fixed. And with this, I'm handing over to Adrian, who will talk us a little bit about the code of conduct for today.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. So as Daniel said, before we dive deep into the program of today's Copilot Community Conference, I would like to take a few seconds to highlight our code of conduct, because CoCoCo is built of our 3 core principles: respect, diversity, and being a safe space for everyone. This means that respect treat every single attendee with a kindness and courtesy, and there are no exceptions. Diversity means that everyone is welcome here, no matter of your background, experience level, country, or role. That diversity is what makes us as a community so strong. And safe space means we have 0 tolerance for harassment, discrimination, and any behavior that makes others feel unwelcome. This includes especially the chat. A few specifics. Please do not post advertising or spam in the chat. No derogation language, no disruption of sessions, no inappropriate content of any kind. If you have experienced or witnessed anything that feels wrong, please reach out to the organization team confidentially. We take every single report seriously and handle it with discretion. Violation can result in formal warning or removal from the event. We want this to be an excellent day for everyone, and we are counting on you to help us to make that happen. Thank you for being part of the community that cares about each other. And yeah, with this being said, I hand over to Thorsten, who will give you an overview of the technical parameters of today's event.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian. And hi, everyone. A warm welcome from my side. My name is Thorsten Pickhan. It's so amazing to see so many people online using the chat, being interactive. So thank you so much for the feedback already seen here. And coming to the techniques and organizational stuff. So first of all, perhaps you already seen that the mics are currently disabled by default. Keep it that way. It's because of privacy settings. So we will record every session here, and we need to be sure that everyone is agreed or has agreed to be recorded, and therefore, in the main track and all the other tracks, mics are disabled by default, so we don't have any issues here. If you have any questions in the session itself for the speaker, for example, please use the Q&A app. You can find it on top of the meeting in the meeting control bar. There you can ask your questions, and someone of the moderation team will take care of your question, depending on the speaker at the end of the session, during the session. So there the speaker can decide on their own when they would like to answer the Q&As. But as you can already see, there's a lot of activity in the chat. So if you have a question, please use the Q&A so we don't miss any question in the chat, because it's so overwhelming there. As mentioned, chat, you can already see it and hear it. Use the chat for discussions, for react.
A few pushes later.
So what a pity that the end meeting button is nearby the stop button. Are we ready to go?
Give me 1 minute. There's the
Yes.
PowerPoint.
Thanks, folks, for joining again. Did I miss Donna? We don't know. We don't know. Perhaps she's coming. Woohoo! Thanks for. We are already 300 people here in this meeting. Thank you all for rejoining, and sorry for all the technical issues. To be honest, this time it was not Microsoft. It was not Microsoft Teams as a platform. This time it was a layer 8 issue. But we will send a feedback message to Microsoft Teams to improve the control panel in the meeting bar and put the end meeting button on the top left side and not beside the leave button. Perhaps this would be helpful for the next meeting. I guess we are still on track, or?
Yeah,
more
we have
less.
Very fast. Very
Yes,
fast.
I need to speed up. So, Daniel, is it possible that you switch to the nice slide about technicals, mute the mic, Q&A, I guess?
Let's switch in 1 second just to make sure that we have all of our 4 presenters here. We cannot see Adrian right now. I'm not sure if he's somewhere lost in translation or not found.
Adrian is there, but the video is not there.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Okay.
Let's see if Adrian.
I just lost my camera, but
okay, no worries.
That's also because
working
we
on
had
it.
a meeting, or
Yeah.
We lost it in another meeting.
So So chat is tested.
So
I would say,
you wanted to talk about how to join the tracks, right?
How to join the tracks. I guess everyone now knows how to join the tracks. So in some we defined now 5 tracks. 5 tracks, yes. The main track and the real main track. So you need to join the real main track to attend the conference. And for each track we build an own Microsoft Teams meeting. So we have the admin track, the adoption track, the agent track, and the user track. Each meeting has its own meeting link, join link. Of course, you can join different meetings, different tracks, whatever session is interesting for you. And yeah, we will show you the tracks during the whole day here in the main event. We will put them also into the chat and pin them on so you are able to join every meeting. Now we are in the welcome track, in the main track, after a few technical issues. So this is also where the keynotes will start in a few seconds or a few minutes. We will then, after the main track, we will go into the different tracks, as the admin track, adoption track, agent track, and user track. Could you put one forward, Tanja? And afterwards, or during lunchtime, we have some lightning talks. This is, yeah, it's an update. So we are very happy to have Heather here. She will bring us a lightning talk about diversity in Copilot and how to make Copilot agents inclusive. That's very interesting. And after her session, we have the product manager for the Microsoft 365 chat app from Microsoft directly, and he will give us a short overview about the latest update in the M365 Copilot chat app. After this, we will end the day with an end note and a raffle for you. And yeah, some hands up by Kevin and Zoe. I don't know if we have still some technical issues or.
No, I'm just trying to find them.
Perfect. Okay. Good. Perfect. Thank you so much. So, and yeah, this is the end note planned for around 5 p.m. I would say, Amsterdam, Berlin time zone. So be patient. We have a raffle for you with great prizes there. And after this, yeah, after the main track and the end note raffle, we are handing over to Tanja. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused because all the. Thanks, Tanja.
Okay, Thorsten. So my name is Wiehoff. Actually, I'm a productivity expert and an MPP for Copilot. First of all, thank you so much to all of you that are so flexible and funny in the chat. I have a task for you guys. As you know, we have a Copilot plush toy. Maybe you could build a plush toy that is using our end meeting button and says, no, don't do that. Maybe something like that. I would love to see those pictures created with Copilot itself. Can you do that? I think that would make it pretty funny. And I don't have time to do it. So please do that for us. So here you can see our schedule, our whole agenda. As you can see, we are still in our opening section, the welcome keynote itself, or welcome session. We will then forward or begin with the keynote from Donna Sarker, which is a little bit special today. So I would say the whole day is special for us as Code team, because it began with technical issues in the morning. Donna Sarker had to take another flight, so right now she's sitting in the plane, but she recorded the keynote for us, so a special keynote. She did the record, and then there was some kind of a tech gremlin, I don't know, who cut the meeting after 5 minutes. So we will have to take a look into the first 5 minutes of Donna Sarker's keynote, but we are still happy that we got a recording from her. Then we have a full keynote coming from Kevin and Zoe. And maybe a 15-minute break. I don't know. Let's see if we have time for that. So that's some kind of a buffer in between. I think we knew days before this meeting or before this conference that something will take place from a technical point of view. Then we have 4 tracks, as Thorsten already said or already told you. We will split up in 4 different tracks: the admin track, the agent track, the user track, and the adoption track. There will be 6 rounds. The first 2 rounds will be before we have lunch break, and in between our lunch breaks we have 2 lightning talks. That is also pretty special with this conference. So if you want to grab lunch and see our lightning talks in the lunch break, just sit with your lunch in front of your computer and watch our lightning talks. Then we have 2 4 more rounds in the afternoon, and at the end we have a raffle, as Thorsten already mentioned, and the final closing. This day is fully packed with a lot of information, with a lot of insights. The recordings will be provided. If Teams is doing the recordings in the right way, they will be provided on our YouTube channel, which is hosted by Daniel. Thank you so much, Daniel, for hosting our YouTube channel. And yeah, that's it actually. Let's do a quick track round, I would say. So let's go deeper into our tracks and into our sessions. Have we already?
Let's go with Adrian. Adrian, can you give us like a quick rundown of the admin track? What we will?
Yeah, since I found my camera and my microphone too in the other meeting group, I can give you an overview on the admin track, as the admin track is designed for everyone who is responsible for deploying, configuring, governing, securing, and everything around the back end of Microsoft 365 Copilot in your organization, and all the maybe legal implications coming with Copilot, like the EU AI Act or GDPR and so on. And we will have a look at tools like Purview or security configurations and everything around it in the era of AI. And if this is your responsibility and your interest, then join the admin track today.
Perfect. I will quickly talk about the user track. So basically, if you want to learn how to use Copilot in your day-to-day work, we have like a lot of different and great questions that require absolutely no technical background. We have fantastic sessions from Peter up the back and Caroline in the morning. And then we have Rock, Marian, Marcin, and Peter joining us on the evening. It will be prompting, it will be Copilot stories, it will be how to use it effectively in Teams, and one of my favorite topics as well, computer use. So I'm very excited about the user track, and welcome everyone who will join me today. Tanja, back to you, the agent track.
Of course, I will be the host of the agent track, and it's all, of course, about building agents in different frameworks and different tools, like, for example, the agent building, Copilot Studio. We will talk about or have sessions about MCP-powered agents with document intelligence. There will be sessions about multi-architecture agents or agentic frameworks. We'll have fabric data agents, which is also pretty special. I'm very much looking forward into that session, and also Copilot Studio best practices. The agent track will be kicked off by Vesa, who will be talking about the Copilot chat agents from 0 to hero. So if you're not familiar with agents yet, join our track. Of course, all the tracks are great. It sounds like I'm promoting my track, but you can also watch the recordings afterwards on a YouTube channel. I already shared the link within the chat. So if you want to build some automations, agentic stuff for your company or for yourself in the future, I think the agent track is the right one for you. But I will hand over to the adoption track, Thorsten.
Adoption, it's so important and necessary to have this when you implement Copilot, of course, because it's a new technology. And perhaps you remember that when Microsoft Teams came out, everyone talked about adoption. And now, from my perspective or our perspective, it's more and more important to have adoption, because Microsoft Copilot will change the daily work totally. And therefore, we decided to have a dedicated channel just for adoption. Here, we will not give you user trainings how to use Copilot. That will happen in the track of Daniel, user. In the user track here, in the adoption track, we will talk about how to enroll Microsoft Copilot for companies. What are best practices to do learning for the employees? What is good way you can find learning materials? What are the best practices from the community, from community leads, and they will share how to do an adoption project round about Microsoft Copilot in the adoption track. And I'm very pleased to welcome Sarah Fenner as a featured speaker for the adoption track. She will start with skills, not hype, a proven pathway to confident Copilot use. We will then go over to Ritter with a session. These are the 2 sessions in the morning. And after the lunch, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 famous and awesome sessions about adoption by Marathi Stave, Gitta, Leo, and Kristen. And I'm very happy to do the moderation of the adoption track. So be patient, be excited about it. Join us. Yeah, that's from the adoption track, I would say. Handing over to Daniel, Adrian, Tanja, I'm not sure.
I think, yeah, so the thing that you're all waiting is probably not us struggling here to keeping up with the agenda in time. Tanja, I just take that over if you don't mind, because what will start right away after this will be the keynote from Zoe and Kevin. Kevin needs to definitely get back in our favor today. So let's hope it's better be a good keynote. And everything else, I think, has been covered so far. Before we jump into the keynote, let's just have one quick look back. I know how far we come. We hit over 1,000 registrations. I think technically today it was like over 1,200 registrations. So we exceeded even the numbers from our very first episode that we have back last year. That was on German only edition. This was last year in October. It was the first COCO edition. It was German only, and we probably will come back with a German only edition again this October, and then always switch it over between a Europe or a DACH German speaking and an international Europe one alternating. That's the plan so far. Yeah, so I'm very happy that at least over nearly 40% made it here today, even with all the switching back and forth. And yeah, Adrian, we have a raffle in the end of today, and we need your support to make COCO even bigger, right?
Yeah, so if you're on LinkedIn or X or Blue Sky or some other social media we didn't aware of, so please make some noise and post about your hopefully great experience after we get this up and running today, and yeah, post about it in the social media so we get the awareness we deserve.
Yeah, so we will use the hashtag COCO, right? To filter all, because we have something great coming. Thorsten, why should people post on social media?
That's easy, because they love the COCO and the Copilot Community Conference and what we are doing here, hopefully. So yeah, we have a raffle. But before we start with a raffle, we coming to a recording. I saw this question already many times here in the chat. Is there a recording? Of course, we have a recording. So if the technical background will be with us, so we will do a recording of all the tracks. Yeah, we will post and publish the dedicated sessions afterwards on the COCO YouTube channel. You can find them, in May there. So if you have interesting sessions while attending another track, no problem. You will find all the sessions on our YouTube channel, of course. And yeah, regarding slide decks, here we as a conference will not share the slide deck. It depends on the presenter and the speaker if they would like to share it or not. So ask them in their session, follow them on LinkedIn. Perhaps they will inform you there if everything where to find the slide deck. And yeah, this is regarding recordings and slide decks. So over to Tanja, I would say, regarding the prizes and puzzles, raffle, EndNote and raffle.
Yes. So as Adrian already told you, we have a raffle at the end, and we have also a feedback form. So if you are happy with COCO, maybe you should fill it out at the end of the whole conference. Right now, I'm guessing you already have a lot of feedback, but please wait until the evening to give us feedback about the whole day. That would be great. And of course, you can win something. We give out an Xbox Game Pass Essential and 2 M365 family subscriptions for 1 year. Give us feedback. So use the form itself. Please post something with the hashtag CoCoCo. We would love to see your experiences, your insights on LinkedIn. Make some noise on LinkedIn. We love to see that there. And it only takes 2 minutes, I would say. Just do a screenshot of what's interesting to you. Do a screenshot about, or just post our CoCoCo plush toy with the "Don't leave the meeting" sign we already created. So we have some insights there. That would be great. Okay, and I'm handing over to.
I think you should also thank to our speakers, Tanja.
Of course. Right? Yeah, thank you. All our speakers. I think I counted them. We are at 25. I think it's 29 speakers actually. So first of all, thank you so much. And please, folks out there, share some love within the chat. Although there are a lot of loud notifications within the chat, big teams really go loud. Share some love, share some hearts, thumbs up to all our speakers. They're mainly doing all the sessions in their free time. They are preparing the slides in their free time. This is really community work that's happening today. There are a lot of MVPs who are sharing their knowledge today. So this is a 100% community event. We are not paying our speakers over here. Follow them on LinkedIn. This is also how you can show your love, show your appreciation. Please also follow our speakers and follow us on LinkedIn and stay connected. That would be great.
Perfect. And yeah, not only thank our speakers, also our sponsors that we technically don't have today. So currently all 4 people that you see here today are the ones who are putting effort in, and we're working this morning to get this reorganized. So again, sorry for that. If you want to blame anyone, feel free to scan the QR codes now and send us a LinkedIn message how much you hated the start this morning, and blame on us. Don't put it in the feedback, just write me a DM so I can delete it again. But of course, if you want to stay up to date, we are pretty active in the community. We have always, I would say, good ideas to share, and we will happy if you want to follow us, if you want to keep updated with CoCoCo or other Copilot related stuff, Microsoft 365 related stuff, agent related stuff. Feel free to send out a request. We are always happy to answer questions. All 4 of us are MVPs, so we are actively in the community and trying to get those cool things out working here. And you will see probably a little bit of advertising for ourselves and throughout the day, because we're not getting paid for this, and we have put a lot of things. So if you have anything, feel free to reach out to us. Okay, so how do we get the keynote right now? How do we get it running, Thorsten? Or I guess, you know what? Let's put it the other way around. It's
let's start with Zoe and Kevin.
Yeah, let's reorder that. And if technically possible, I hope you now have an idea what will happen today, and you will find the tracks hopefully. So I think Kevin and Zoe should be there. We are bringing them on the stage right now. Welcome, even in person, with a video. Great. There we have the guy, Kevin.
And looking very embarrassed. At least one of us.
You should.
I'm so nervous with this mute button.
Perfect. Do you have any content to share, Kevin? If yes, feel free to try to bring it up to out stage. Do not click the yellow button. To share.
So I was driving the slides, but I'm wondering now if I should have taken that job.
Okay, so thank you for being here. Thanks for managing the keynote, and welcome on stage. We will leave it up to you. We are happy to have you here, and feel free to kick off Co with your input, Kevin and Zoe. Welcome on stage.
Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to the true start of the Copilot Community Conference. I'm Kevin McDonnell. I'm co-host of the Copilot Connection podcast, UK lead for Copilot in Agents at Avanade, incompetent user of Teams, and one of your keynote speakers today. And most importantly, I'm looking forward to helping you be ready for this ever-changing world of Copilot.
And I'm Zoe Wilson, the fellow co-host of the Copilot Connection podcast. I lead the global digital workplace consult business at Kyndryl, and we're here today to share our thoughts on this world of Copilot and what you need to be thinking about to position yourself for the future in this world of Copilot and agents. So with Microsoft 365 Copilot into its third wave following the announcements from Microsoft just last month, GitHub Copilot evolving almost on a weekly basis, and agents taking over in every app, where is the human value? Are we living in the Matrix? Are we destined for a Wall-E future where humans pretend to be in control, but we are in fact all run by AI? And more importantly, what part can you play in this? That's what we're here today to unpick. And together we're going to talk about how Copilot has evolved since its first announcements, looking at the ghosts of Copilot, past, present, and future, and more importantly, what you can do about it today.
So today we're going to look back just about 3 years ago. Yes, my goodness, Copilot first arrived 3 years ago with the ghost of Copilot past. If we look back to February 2003, Tom Brady had just announced his final retirement. Harry Styles had won Best Album Grammy for Harry's House, and Rihanna was performing at the Super Bowl, just to think about how long that was ago. Meanwhile, the first generative AI from Microsoft started with Bing Chat, and this expanded into that first big use case for Copilot with that ability to search for the right thing, not just by keyword as you used to do, by what you needed. You could ask it how you wanted to do things, where was that meeting and thingamajig, and it would help find you the right thing. Those on the early access preview and supporting clients then looked at how Microsoft 365 Copilot, yes, before it became Copilot for Microsoft 365 and then back again to Microsoft 365 Copilot, they showed you how you could rework your content, restyling your emails to make it easier to read and pick up different styles for what you're trying to get across. And also, if you were starting with a document, and I'm sure we've all been there with that blank page syndrome, where you're just not quite sure what headings and things you wanted, what content to get going, then you could get started with Copilot and fill in your own details on there. The excitement at that time was truly real. But as the Copilot brand actually started with GitHub, and for a long time, this was really the best example from Microsoft of how generative AI was built into that flow of work. You didn't notice the help was there until it stopped. And true story for me, my license expired and suddenly my code quality plummeted completely because I had to think for myself instead of just hitting tab and waiting to see what happened. And soon Copilot started to appear everywhere, in Office apps, in Windows, in Dynamics, in Viva. Yeah, remember that. In everywhere that Microsoft had. I think there was at one point 187 different Copilots that Donna mentioned on there. And then we started to see the ways to extend Copilot with plugins. You could, well, in theory, you could take action. The reality at that time was a little bit different on there. There was lots of hype, lots of marketing, but the promise didn't quite meet up to what you could actually do. The theory was there, but there needed to be ways to work out how the power could be used most effectively. The reality for many was different. The true flow of work was very hard to put in place. Zoe, why don't you cover some of those challenges?
So when we think about the early days of Copilot, there were some consistent challenges that people really quickly came across. there was a need to get people to understand Gen AI, particularly the fact that it's non-deterministic. So people, like Kevin said, people were trying to use it to search, and they were expecting to get the same answer consistently every single time, like you might with Google or Bing, rather than recognizing that the nature of Gen AI means that it would be different every time. And then for those who were investing in some of the early Copilot products, getting people to actually build habits was a challenge. And we learned that while some of the adoption principles were the same, driving the adoption of Copilot required behavior change at a level not seen with typical tech rollouts that we might have done historically. And then realizing that the need to finally sort your content and data out, which those of us who've worked with SharePoint for years, we've been shouting about this for years. But this became more important than ever because Copilot was only as good as the data that it was able to reason over. And alongside some of the challenges that we quickly learned to recognize, back in the olden times of Copilot, before people really understood what it could and couldn't do, one of the most common questions that particularly leaders were trying to understand, considering the price tag, was, what is the business value of Copilot? And at this point, it was so new and started to introduce such a new way of working that people didn't really understand how to quantify the value. And what we saw was people incorrectly defaulting to proving the value of Copilot by calculating based on the minutes that it saved you for tasks, and then taking the minutes saved, timesing it by an average cost of an employee, and using this to generate an ROI. And this focused on
apologies to any speakers who are talking about that today.
Well, this focuses on a perception of value purely in terms of minutes saved and potentially even headcount reduction, rather than recognizing the broader potential value that Copilot and AI can unlock by introducing completely new ways of doing things.
So now we're getting to the Ghost of Copilot present. And here we are in the age of agents. Why agents? Why the shift in narrative beyond just Copilot? Microsoft and others kind of realized that actually Copilot could not do everything. It wasn't that single generalist, because if you imagine your support desk, they cannot answer every question. You have to pass on to level 2, level 3. They start to realize that this is where it sat with Copilot as well. Satcher brought forward that view of Copilot as the UI for AI. Instead, specialist agents coordinated to solve for problems, from being scoped into key knowledge areas to scoping out to bring in other systems, things like Workday, ServiceNow, Salesforce, and your own systems as well. The key that we were encouraged to use them, whether it was the first-party agents like Researcher or third-party ones from other key Microsoft partners. We're encouraged to build custom ones that I'm sure you'll hear about today, all the way from no-code in SharePoint and Agent Builder, starting to look at the low-code with Copilot Studio and that full pro code with Microsoft Foundry, and several other ways in between that are evolving all the time. Organizations are building suites of tools with MCP and working out the best ways to connect agents with things like A2A. That's quite a lot of acronyms. What does that actually mean to you? Understanding what tools, what agents, what technology to build those agents, when, and how to get to the right information, knowing when to actually use AI compared with good old automation and deterministic apps and flows. There's also that shift from traditional testing to evaluations, working out the right way to ensure your agents do what you want them to do, not only now, but as you make those minor changes to instructions and start to bring in new models that they continue to work as you want them to do. And also the red teaming to check your agents not only do what you want it to do, but don't end up doing things that you don't want it to do, like recommending Comic Sans for anything but accessibility reasons.
So in the present time with Copilot, when we think about value, there's been a little bit of a change, but we do still see people defaulting to using that minutes saved calculation for the return on investment of the costly Copilot licenses. And this is primarily because understanding productivity and value is really hard. And a lot of individuals and organizations still haven't quite gotten their heads around what value means to them. And we've got this pressure from the chief financial officers who are basically looking at the premium price tag of Copilot and Agent 365 and all of these other products and seeking to understand the business case. However, alongside that minutes saved or the dreaded headcount reduction, how many people is this horribly going to let us take out of the business? We are now also starting to see organizations look at other metrics to understand value. They're recognizing that people who are using Copilot in new and different ways are being able to be more creative, more innovative. They have a reduced cognitive load because they're not having to cope with as much drudgery and context switching. We see some organizations starting to look at more business outcome focused metrics. So things like using Copilot or AI to reduce the time to sale or increase the amount of time that people can spend with customers, or even finding new value in new ways of working that can't quite be quantified yet. And then when we start to look at people applying agents to business processes, we're also seeing a resurgence of RPA-style process optimization measurements, where people are taking like well understood ways of looking at how process efficiency can be driven, and they're using that to quantify value in terms of a business case and return on investment when applying agentic tech to process orchestration and process automation.
Those challenges are still strong, though. And the increased capabilities and value doesn't actually solve the early fun we saw. While there were the initial pushes for adoption that we saw take place, ensuring people continue to build and develop the habits needed, that they understand the new capabilities, continue to challenge themselves to look at what they're doing and think about how AI can actually help them. There's also the time it takes to transform those legacy platforms, ensure that that older tech and investments can benefit from AI as much as putting in brand new greenfield systems. The reality of those transformations still takes time, not just in terms of the technology swap out, but that process change, that habit change for people as well. And this is while you're juggling those tweaks to licensings for agents, for Copilot, new platforms coming in, understanding what the costs for these capabilities. If I hear the word FinOps at work one more time, I may actually lose the will to live. So you're facing as well those never-ending renames. Does anyone know what the ability to work with PowerPoint in Copilot is called now? Please do put answers in chat to see if everyone's caught up with that. And I know, Caroline, you will get this right. But really, the biggest challenge is not the technology. It's more human than that. The real case for this is the responsible AI. Zoe, do you want to talk more about the impact of responsible AI here?
So responsible AI is the responsibility of everybody. It is ensuring that everybody from an individual, a team, an organization is using the tech in responsible ways that is not breaching the responsible AI guidelines and principles. So not using for nefarious purposes, not trying to get access to things you shouldn't be. And one of the challenges with AI is the fact that a lot of the AI we're using today is non-deterministic, which means that it is going to give you different answers depending on how you phrase the questions. And one of the things that Kevin and I have seen live is the fact that it is possible to get Copilot to do things that it shouldn't be able to do. But you as an individual have the responsibility to make sure that you're doing the right thing, that you're using it properly, that you're not trying to get access to data that you shouldn't. And this is something that needs to be considered both in terms of how you use the tools, but also when you're doing things like building agents and applying AI to processes, you need to make sure that you're testing, that you're evaluating, that you're red teaming to make sure that the people who are using the thing you're building are not going to be able to do things that were not intended. And we've seen many examples publicly of where people have been able to get these systems to do things that were not intended.
And just before I go to the next slide, Zoe, obviously responsible AI using technology correctly does include not clicking the end meeting button as well on there. So here we've got a great example of the West Midlands Police actually blaming Copilot, yes, with a capital P in there as well, actually blaming Copilot for the mistakes they made in cancelling a football match because of, I think it was Maccabi Tel Aviv coming in there, and they refused to have the football match because Copilot invented a match that took place. There wasn't actually anything there. And instead of taking and saying we should have analysed the real results and checked it, they publicly said it was Copilot's fault on there, which it's just nuts. I think we've got here Coca-Cola talking about an AI-powered advert where they got the names of the author wrong. So they got those basic facts that they hadn't gone and checked themselves. AI is not an excuse for you to make a mistake. It is not an excuse for you to get things wrong. It accelerates what you do, but you are still an editor to go and validate these things. And that doesn't go away just because you've got better technology from it.
So when we think about that level of accountability, when we think about the need for people to build the habits to work with Copilot, why is it so important? It's not just about building the muscle memory that they need to be able to integrate tools like Copilot into the way that they work and into their daily life, but also this need to build the reflex for actually fact checking and for making output sound like them and not like AI, and the need to learn how to use AI in the right way. Now, I'm sure many of you, like me, have found LinkedIn to be a less and less useful resource as it has become the prime example of AI workshop, where people are using AI to generate professional content, to drive engagement, and they're publishing it without taking the time to actually make it sound like them, or to check that the content actually has any value or insight beyond surface level points. And in the recent New Future of Work report that was published by Microsoft in December, which you can find either using the URL that's on the screen or the QR code, they talked about the rise of AI workshop, which is basically the professional equivalent of all of the low-value, crappy memes that we see all over Instagram and TikTok, where people are using AI to generate things just for the likes and the engagement. And what they found in this New Future of Work report was that when you receive workshop in a work context, if someone gives you AI generated content that is low value, that is clearly AI generated, it is shifting the burden of checking the work from the person who created it to you as the reader. And 42% of the people who were analysed view those generating workshop as less trustworthy. And 32% wouldn't want to work with the individual again. So this isn't just about using AI to make you better, faster, to get your work done more quickly. You still have this responsibility as an individual to make sure that the work is right, whether it's something you're posting on LinkedIn or something that you're sharing with colleagues. And when you create and when you publish this stuff, you're basically, like I said, making that burden of effort move to someone else. And using AI to accelerate and improve your creative endeavors is awesome, but please make sure you're not contributing to this low value content and that it still looks and feels and sounds like you, and you're using AI as a creative partner rather than just delegating all of the work to it.
And if you feel you sound like AI, then feel free to use AI to make yourself sound more human, but that's probably a different story. So, sorry.
As we look to the ghost of Copilot future, what else is changing? What is coming next in this Copilot world? Is it going to address all of these new issues that we've talked about, or even the old issues from the ghost of Copilot past? Or are we just going to see more lobster-shaped risks in our life?
So as we move forward, Microsoft is learning that the complexity is actually confusing things. I mentioned the plugins, that way to bring different things. We had graph connectors. We had all sorts of different ways to extend from different teams. We had Copilot Studio. We had those pro code solutions, and it's really confusing things. But Microsoft's realizing this. They're starting to work together. They're starting to standardize the story to talk about layers to provide that UI for AI. With Work Fabric and Foundry IQ there at the moment, we're starting to see that consistent message on providing the knowledge needed to power Copilot and agents, standardizing more and more onto the tools with MCP and A2A, whatever new three-letter acronym that comes along, that will allow organizations to manage them consistently and bring the observability to that as well. To me, the biggest benefit, and I know there's a session, I think it was in the admin track right at the end of the day on Agent 365 that's going to be moving to general availability on May the 1st. And this will start to power consistent governance across all the things, bringing observability, control, and security to all your agents, wherever they come from, whether you've built themselves, third party, even bringing in different ones from things like Salesforce and Workday to give you that consistency. This is the change to not just race ahead, but to think about how you provide the right control and guardrails for your AI initiatives. But there's more to be excited about as well. Cowork or Copilot Cowork is now in preview, but it already feels like this is the future of Copilot, with multi-step processes helping to plan out what you're trying to achieve, gathering the information you need, and then actually taking action, using all the tools that you've got within there and building on that with skills. And this is the area that I'm most excited about. There's a new way of formatting your repeated capabilities, things like how to analyze and critically review your delivery documents, best practices for how you do code reviews, or even how to make your finish more human. And that is a true skill. If you go, I'll put the link in the chat in a minute, GitHub/awesome-Copilot. There's a great resource of all these skills agents that you can use to make sure you can build these into VS Code, because those who live in VS Code have already started building these skills, and they're not just doing it for code, they're doing it for how they work. We had April Yoho on the Copilot Fireside Chat recently, and she's working with Excel. She's doing loads of non-code stuff, but using the tool set that she's been using with code. And this ability with skills is going to become, with Cowork and others, easier and easier for knowledge workers to do as well. It'll become easier with AI to create and reuse these skills. But the biggest change that's racing through the consumer worlds and battling into the enterprise world at the moment are claws. Those lobsters are starting to appear everywhere. Omar Shaheen, who used to look after AI and Word, has accepted a role at Microsoft to bring OpenClaw to the world of Microsoft 365. That stretch of these capabilities, these stories you're hearing about to the enterprise is in full swing. And what's interesting is they're making sure that this is done in the right way. That you're not going to be like the head of responsible AI at Meta, who managed to delete all her Gmails by using OpenClaw. Microsoft's putting in those tools that you can trust it, that you get all that compliance and details in there as well. But there's more. We're seeing that evolution of Microsoft providing through Copilot that ability to bring multi-model. We're already seeing Anthropic, and we anticipate more. We're seeing not just that choice that you have to make, but we're seeing that ability with Critique and Researcher to run both models side by side and choose which output that you want that's most beneficial. Do I think this is going to carry on like that? No, I think it's going to start doing it for you as well. So this multi-model world becomes even more powerful. And also, we mentioned that new future of work. I've put a link to that in the chat. There is actually Jamie Teven talks a lot about collaborative AI, how we can bring AI into meetings, into how we work together to be more efficient as a group. Right now, it's very focused on the individual. But if you think about facilitator agent, helping you get through meetings on time. Yes, Daniel and team, I'm keeping an eye on time. That we'll see more and more AI helping with that. So the question is, will this deliver the Copilot we were promised? Or is it just the rise of the machines, aka digital workers?
So when we think about what Copilot and AI value is going to look like in the future, first of all, the way we look at this needs to completely change. And we need to stop measuring the value of Copilot on its own and start looking at the entire Copilot plus AI ecosystem. Because when we drive this business transformation, you have to layer all of these technical components together. And it's looking like we will see Copilot actually being more present in the flow of work, fulfilling that promise that was originally positioned 3 years ago. But for organizations to understand the value, they need to start looking at how they measure humans alongside AI in terms of what is delivered. So start measuring at the individual level and start looking at the productivity at the team, department, or even entire organization level. And again, still recognizing that value has to go beyond productivity and minutes saved. The whole systems of work will change as we see human and agents start to become integrated into teams, and then autonomous agents running in the background. So I feel like this value calculation is becoming harder, but we should start to be able to see more clear examples of how organizations are layering all of this together. And when we think about the world of AI in general, the world of AI moves really, really fast. So trying to follow AI and tech news at the moment is just impossible. It is a fast track to burnout. We've got new models being published constantly. There is so much hype in the system with organizations trying to get that shareholder value and drive up share price and get investments and IPOs. And depending on the day or the headline, AI promises either the salvation for all humanity or the doom of all mankind. And just in the last few days alone, we've seen news from Anthropic of yet another game-changing model, Mythos, one that is allegedly so powerful they won't ever release it publicly, but have instead started a working group who are going to use this to find and fix security vulnerabilities. So when you think about all of this noise, how do you filter through it? In the short term, think about what you need to know right now to do your work more effectively and just ignore a lot of the noise. And then for the medium and longer term, find and follow experts in your field. And if you're here today at Co, you've got lots to choose from. Find the ones who align with your areas of interest and follow some of the bigger companies like Microsoft, Anthropic, OpenAI. Start to understand their direction of travel and the things that you might need to learn or plan for in the future.
Now, we don't just want to explain things to you today. We don't just want to tell you things that you should be doing. We want to empower you. We want to get you thinking. We want to get you to think about what you need to start.
We've talked about some of the adoption challenges in the early days of Copilot and this need for people to continue the sustained habit building. But to ensure that you've got the right skills needed for the future, you need to continue to build and train that Copilot muscle. Continue to turn to Copilot first for new tasks and look at new and different ways that you can use it to help make you faster, more productive, more creative, and even try completely different things that you might not have been able to do before. Build the muscle memory and habits needed for this new world. And a key part of building your Copilot muscle is trying new things. So start building agents, learn about skills, get a level deeper with the tech than where you are today. It's easy to do now. Even if you're not used to building stuff in the Power Platform, you can get started with natural language. So give it a go. Try using Agent Builder and see how you can build agents that help solve your own problems.
And if you're an admin following the admin track today, or maybe a consultant responsible for Copilot delivering your clients, then you need to plan as well. You need to think ahead on there. Agent 365 plus other tools that are coming around are really there to help you manage your agents, to set up those guardrails to what agents can do, rather than just explicitly blocking them and turning them off. Put those layers of control. And then put in place those communities that help people learn together, centralize those learning materials. So if people want to try that experimentation that Zoe was talking about, there's things to help guide them, point them towards the right documentation from Microsoft, the right videos out there from the communities. Build those central places for people to find the skills and agents they need in their job to be more productive, and to help them to use those.
But the most important thing that you can do is be authentically human, because for consultants, this isn't just about the tech. It's also not just about adoption and change. It's a new world where people who can bridge those worlds and understand the business challenges will be in a strong position. So know enough tech to understand what's coming, be able to apply that to real people and processes, and most importantly, stay weird, stay creative, be passionate, curious, and unauthentically human. Own your words. Don't be one of those people who's putting AI slop out into the world, either in your organization or on LinkedIn. And challenge yourself to go a level deeper and a level broader with the tech than you are today, to understand the business processes and how Copilot and agents can help. And start to apply AI to your personal life as well as your work life, because I promise you, there are some cool things that you can do in your home life as well if you're using this tech.
And most importantly, keep learning, keep up to date what is changing. Today is the perfect day to that. Keep watching, make that time for you to learn, and you'll benefit in the long run. I'm looking over and I'm seeing 399 people in this track. And to see that for a virtual conference at the moment is absolutely incredible. So thank you everyone for listening to us today, for coming to this session. I've been Kevin McDonnell, and I wish you the most fantastic day.
And I've been Zoe Wilson, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the awesome lineup. A huge thank you to the organisers of CoCoCo for putting this on.
Thanks,
and enjoy the rest of the fantastic speakers ahead of you.